blessing.
Indeed, indeed. We're so glad to have Dr. Goldson here with us this morning here on our YouTube show. Check us out on Twitter as well. Doc, we have some questions for you to speak about. As you know, we had Women's History Month. We've been celebrating the amazing accomplishments and contributions of women in this country and across the world. And for me as a principal, and for our two reporters here as young ladies, we want to see more women doing amazing things. And your name came up, and we have a set of questions that we were able to generate from the student body. And these ladies are going to go ahead and start asking you those questions. And we're going to use your words of inspiration to move our students in our community, because this video is going to go far and wide in the next couple of weeks. And so we have a set of questions, like I said, and we go ahead and start with Aishat. Go ahead and ask your first question, Aishat.
All right. Thank you again for joining on WROC show. Successful leaders are defined by how they respond to challenges they face. What are some of the challenges you face as a school leader that help you define your career?
Well, I think this pandemic has just about summed it up. This has probably been the biggest challenge that I have ever experienced. And while I have formal education and 3 degrees, there is no classroom experience that could have prepared any of us, not you, not your principal, your parents, or myself, for what we've experienced for more than a year. So I believe that the pandemic will not only define my leadership, but it has defined how we function as a community and as a school system. And I am extremely proud of all that we have done to come together during this pandemic.
Oh, thank you. All right, Naya, here's the floor.
Just read it?
Yeah, just read it.
Okay. The job of a CEO requires you to know a lot of information. How do you prepare to answer all of these questions by the media, parents, and your employees within PGCPS? Do you always have the answers to these questions?
So let me first start by saying I don't always have the answers to every question, but I do spend a lot of time preparing for meetings, public interviews. Today, I'm so grateful that you all did your preparation and you sent me the questions in advance. But for events such as this, I try my very best to not study for those kinds of questions and responses because I want it to be authentic. But I do have, I go to annual media training where a firm works with me on my media presence, not using the word like I just used. So clearly I need to go back to training, making sure that I get my point across because I have such a short period of time when I'm doing interviews. Part of the reason, though, I'm able to answer a lot of questions, not all of them, a lot is because I have been in the school system for 30 years. And I am a product of this school system. So I graduated from PGCPS. And then I had 2 kids who graduated. So I have, from a student perspective, I have a parent perspective, and then I have a perspective from being a teacher all the way to this position. So some of the knowledge is because I have the historical knowledge and I've been here for a while. Thank you for that.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great question. Aishat, there's another. Can you ask that other question? I think this one gets really interesting.
All right, this is a long question. We are encouraged to dream big, or work hard by showing feet, and turn our dreams into reality. It's Women's History Month, and the girls at WROC dream of being successful career adults. When you were younger, what did you want to be? And as you started your career as student in high school, what inspired you to become a leader in the field of education?
Wow. That's a great question, because I can tell you when I was growing up, I did not think I would even be a teacher. I went to undergrad and majored in mathematics. And I thought that I was going to be an actuary. And that is a person who uses statistics and data analysis to predict what insurance rates will be and what we anticipate could happen nationally within like 10, 20-year spans. Help to predict the future. That is what I thought I would do. I graduated with a degree in mathematics, minor in business with a focus in actuarial science. And to become an actuary, you have to take 10 exams. And they're all mathematics related. So I honestly thought, you know what, maybe the best way to make sure that I'm prepared for those exams is to teach mathematics so I could stay up on my math game. I had planned to teach in the evenings, go home, prep for the exams. And typically by the time you pass about 2 exams, then insurance companies my entire life.
Wow.
So I had never thought that I would, so I never thought, envisioned that I would be here. So it's just a great example that sometimes you think you know what you're going to do. I can tell you I'm a God-fearing woman, so I do a whole lot of praying. And after that first week, I fell in love with being with students, and I have never regretted the decision to stay in education.
We did some research about you, and you stated in a video on the PGCPS website that your number one job is being a mom. How do you balance being a CEO and a mom?
Okay, so let me be really honest with you. I am not the best with balancing. I do a great job of talking about it and encouraging others to balance family and work. But I am not always the best at it. I am grateful that my sons, I have 2 young men who are, one's a graduate, recent graduate of college, and the other is a freshman at Virginia Commonwealth University. And so I'm grateful that they're older, but I can tell you there were days when I first came into this position that I call my village. My family had to step in. And so my mom was instrumental in helping and supporting me. As well as my aunt who would fly in from out of town to help and support. I have learned over time that I can't be everywhere. And so I have an amazing team of chiefs who know just as much as I do, probably more, and they help to support me. So when I can't make it to every event, they do. And I do my very best that when I walk through the door, when I get home, I really do focus on just being a mom. Because I don't want to miss the opportunities and the experiences that they have going on. And even though they're young adults, I can tell you the highlight that I had literally 2 weeks ago was it was the very first day. It was really nice outside. I think it gone up to 70 degrees. And my son said, Mom, when you finish work, can we go take a walk? And let me tell you, that was probably the best 45 minutes that I've had in 2 weeks time span, because you can't get those moments back. So Sanaya and Aishat, I say to you, you can't imagine what your parents would experience and feel like if you were just to spend 45 minutes with them, uninterrupted, just having a conversation and telling them what you're experiencing in life. Is priceless. And those are moments I don't ever.
You know, that's inspiring. We got a few more questions to ask, it gets interesting, Doc, as we go through. I think we got this one from a couple of our students. Aishat is already smiling with this one. So go ahead and ask the question, Aishat.
All right. So here I go. As Walker's young ladies, we want to know, how did you respond to people who underestimate you as a leader?
Woo! Oh my.
Now, Aishat, that's a good one. You know, people already have preconceived thoughts and notions before you walk in a room. And so I do my very best. This goes back to a previous question that you asked. I do my very best to remain prepared for every event and meeting I walk into. So I just shared this with what I call middle management in the organization. I don't talk about it a lot, but I spend majority of my Sunday after I've had time at church and I figured out what I'm going to prepare for dinner. I spend a lot of my day on Sunday preparing for the entire week. I read about the organizations that I'm going to meet with, the leaders in those organizations, what potentially they might try to offer PGCPS, and how that fits into our strategic plan and our ultimate goals. There is never a meeting that I walk into that I have not prepared for. So I do my very best to break the thoughts, impressions, the preconceived notions that people have by always being prepared, doing my best to always be on time, asking questions when I don't know the information. And when I say I'm going to do something, I do it.
How do you make the best decisions as a CEO of our school district?
Well, let me tell you, there are days that I'm sure people don't agree with the decisions I make. But I spend a lot of time looking at data, getting the thoughts and opinions of the people that it's going to affect. I do surveys of our community. I talk to other leaders across the nation who are making some of the same similar decisions. And I talk to our employees so that I can get an idea of how they think and feel about it because they have to execute it. And at the end of the day, sometimes, I can use the pandemic as a great example. I do not have a degree in medicine or could really fully understand what the infectious disease rates and how it transmit during this COVID experience. But what I did do was convene a team of medical experts who could tell me. And their input and information helped me to arrive at the decisions that I did for our students, our families, and our staff. So I use a variety of methods and tools, but let me be very clear. When you enter into your leadership roles, you're going to make decisions, and not everyone is going to agree with the decisions that you make. Be confident in the decisions you make. Know that all the research, information, preparation, and data that you've accumulated helped you arrive to it, and just be able to convey how you arrived at it. As long as you can sleep at night with the decisions you've made and you've done a good job researching it, you'll be fine.
What is something you like to do when you are not working as a CEO?
Okay, now you're getting ready to talk about my guilty pleasure. So I love shoes. I'm now giving it all out. When I am not working, I do enjoy online shopping because clearly doing it now in person is gone. But I didn't really have the time before the pandemic, and I would find myself when I couldn't go to sleep online shopping. I love reading books. So I created a vision board. I have a vision board that I create every winter break that I post. And it is my goal to read a certain number of books for this year. So I'm working on fiction and nonfiction books that I am trying to read. And then lastly, spending time with my family. As much as we complain about the pandemic, I can tell you it has been a blessing for my family. We have utilized Zoom, and we're all over the US. So we've utilized Zoom a lot more than we would have ever have experienced. But it allowed me to really spend some quality time with my children, with my youngest before he left to go to college. He chose to go in person. And my oldest, who had to move home after graduating from college because of the pandemic. And every opportunity I get to see them grow into the young men that they have become has been a blessing. So it's been great. Pandemic.
On shopping part, do you actually buy this stuff, or do you just do it for fun? And do you
Oh, no. Unfortunately, the UPS guy and I are on first name because he drops off packages all the time to my home. My other problem is that I go on Amazon a lot. So yes, my son actually put me on a 2-week Amazon punishment. And let me tell you, that 2 weeks was a very long week. So what he did not know is that I was making a list daily of what I was going to purchase when that. So, I actually, Sanaya, purchase. So that is where the problem falls.
Move them forward. I mean, this year has been so difficult with so many families and so many of our students. And, having you as a leader you are an inspiration and a voice. And even our primary students are like, Dr. Goldson, they know you. And they respond enthusiastically to hearing that you are going to be joining us here. So, Aisha, let's ask that question to Dr. Goldson, and let's listen and be inspired by her words.
All right. Many girls at WROC were excited to know that you will be on the WRC show. As a woman in leadership, what can you say to young girls who want to pursue in careers in leadership in the future?
So first thing I want to tell you is that the sky is the limit. That means whatever it is you desire and want to do, you can do that and then be open to even exceeding that. I can tell you, I never thought I would be the CEO of a school system that I had the opportunity to grow up in. I didn't even believe I could be because I didn't see it. So there were many men who sat in this seat, in this role. I never thought that I would even be considered because I was a woman. So to have the opportunity made it even greater, but I didn't even envision it. So I say to you that be prepared to even exceed what it is you thought you could even do. And if I haven't said it enough, be prepared. Know what it is you want. As I shared earlier, I have a vision board that I update every year. I look at it often. I pray about what's on that vision board and I work towards achieving it. Opportunity is not always, it's going to knock, but you got to be prepared when it comes. And more importantly, you have been prepared more than you can believe. This pandemic, while it has been extremely hard, it has caused all of us to really recalibrate and look at what we look at as priorities and how we tackle everyday learning. But you have persevered beyond what you thought you could even do. And it has shown you that you can do and accomplish anything that's thrown your way. I believe this generation now who has experienced this pandemic will be far greater citizens, workers, employees, and children, adults in the future because of this experience. I'm looking forward to potentially seeing one of you in this seat one day. Have the opportunity to come back and say to you, great job. I woke up this morning to a text from my aunt who shared with me that the newest NBC News president was elected, and her name is Kimberly Godwin. She happened to graduate from my alma mater, my undergraduate alma mater, Florida A&M University. And I can tell you she's the first African-American woman to lead ABC News nationally. Never envisioned that she would be in that seat. So I say to you, the sky is the limit.
Yes.
And you can exceed even beyond what you could think or imagine. So the best is yet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Dr. Goldson, thank you so much for spending some time with Rockledge Elementary School, our community, we say here, the village of Rockledge. And part of our motto, which is to get Rockledge, which means to rallying our community knowledge, lifting everyone, and developing greatness every day. You are a part of that mission statement for us. Our students will be inspired and challenged as a result of your stories and your ways of encouraging us. And I just want to thank Sanaya and Aisha for doing an awesome job.
I do too. I have to admit, when I came on this morning and I've been thinking about all the great things that are happening in our country, and I thought about the news from Kimberly Godwin, and I thought, you know what? Sanaya, when you came on this morning, I thought Sanaya and Aisha could very well be the president of ABC, NBC, or CBS one day. And they'll be able to go back to this footage to talk about their trajectory to where they want to be in life. So I'm extremely grateful to be in your presence. And I look forward to meeting you in person and all of the students in person at Rockledge. Yes.
I probably
all right. Oh, man. That's awesome, man. We are excited. Again, I think I've used that word numbers of times. here at our school. Excited about you being here, excited about our students, our staff. And Dr. Goldson, we want to thank you for joining our WROC show. Students and staff, parents of our community, don't forget to subscribe to the Rock Ledge channel. My name is Mr. Prince. On behalf of Sanaya and Aishat and our CEO, Dr. Monica Goldson, we want to thank you for joining us here. Make it a great day, everyone, and do it with purpose.
Bye-bye. Thank you.